Astro, Monster Energy, Corsair, Zowie, and Intel.
Welcome back. Much like Atlanta, things are hotting up here inside the Georgia World Congress Center as we speed towards the final day. We only have 5 teams left who are battling it out for that trophy now, and we are about to make it for Envious go up against Godsent in the final game of Group B. My name is James, and here joining me on the desk, as has been a pleasure this entire weekend, Vendetta and Adren.
So kind.
How are you doing? It's the last game of day 2.
Last game of day 2. The dreaded best of 4. No,
best of
3. 4 best of 3s.
Oh, please. We should try best of 4. We should try that.
Yeah, just have no winner ever. That should make do wonders for a schedule. No, it's last game of the day, but also a fairly good one to end it on, really.
Yeah.
Envious, we saw them in Valencia doing pretty well for themselves, ending it on a high note. Ran into a bit of a speed bump yesterday versus Heroic, but all things considered, I still think they look pretty sharp.
Talking of which, let's have a look at how both these teams got to the point where we are now in Group B. Let's just quickly recap Group A first. We saw Renegades go through with flying colours against Hellraisers and Misfits to go straight to the semi-finals, and we just saw on the stage Hellraisers beat Misfits 2-0 to become the second Group A semi-finalist. From Group B, we saw Heroic go through 16-7 and 16-9 against Godsent and Envious to be our first Group B semi-finalist, and now here we are with Envious versus Godsent to find out who that final 4th team will be. And as you can see, there's our playoff bracket that we'll be getting to tomorrow. On one side, we have Godsent. We have a mix-up of players. We've got Pith there. We've got a mix-up of in-game leaders, but we've got a disco dancing Dopplan on the end there, who is really bringing his A game and is dancing around and killing everything in sight. So, are Envious worried about this Godsent team, do you think?
I mean, the individual skill of the team, sure. Their actual team play, not so much, I would imagine. Okay. Again, I think a lot of what we saw versus Energy in the first best of 3 that Godsent played today is the big reason why they actually made it through is because of individual performances. We talked about that Cobble game with Disco Dopplan, and before that we had Twist just pretty much going off on most maps. So I think that's a necessity for Godsent to get through a team like Energy at this point, but now they're raising the bar one more time, and they're going up against a team with better individual players and better team play as well. So now something else has to click unless you want everybody else to contribute as well to the same level, and that can be really hard to get going for you.
Let's have a look at the Godsent players. We mentioned some of them just there. Who's going to be the standout, do you think, now? Do you think Disco Dopplan can continue his form, Eric?
I definitely agree with Vendetta here, is that their individual play is what got them over Cross in beating NRG, but they're definitely going to need more for Envious here. Envious is going to be a way tougher opponent, and you're going to have team play, supportive stuff happening. You can't just have Disco. You can't rely on Disco 1v4ing.
Yeah.
And then that clip is actually funny because he is literally discoing around the stage in 1v4. He was just making plays happen, but the big players that stepped up is Disco, Dopplan, and Twist, and they were both the operas. And I'm going to say, like, if they want a chance to win, those 2 players absolutely both have to be going off.
But as you say, though, it is a little bit more about the strategic side of things, and the in-game leader has been changed for this event because it's a bit of a mixed team with Pith coming in.
Yeah.
Can they do that then with a different in-game leader?
Well, that's the thing, right? I guess the one benefit is that they're going to keep it simplistic, and versus a team like Envious, they're also going to be very simplistic in their approach to the game and how they play it. So I guess in that sense, their style doesn't necessarily counteract each other in a big way. So it's an even playing field in that sense. But then you have to think about the fact that Envious are a much more well-run machine, which is kind of funky to say when you're talking about Envious because they have been a bit of a hot mess from time to time. But compared to Godsent, I know I'd still rack them a couple of levels above. unless we see just the stars aligning, and then we have Lekra and Pith also just joining up to the level of Doppelin and Twist, and even Pronax as well has to step up his individual performance, because now he's not calling. He doesn't have to focus on anyone else. He can solely just focus on a crosshair in front of him.
Talking of Envious previously, they are on the other side of the stage, and we'll have a quick look at that lineup. It may be worrying for them that this is their first game of the day.
Well, luckily for them, it's not 9 a.m. They would have had time to sleep in, and that's normally the biggest issue for Envy, is the fact that they played the first game of the tournament, first day, just waking or not really being woken up when they start playing. I think that's worrying for them. But they don't have to deal with that now. It's getting into night hours in that sense. So I think the French lineup should be fine.
And actually on day one, they did perform.
Yeah, they did actually overcome
the day. So
that issue.
They overcame this jinx that seemed to have been getting at them and nipping at their heels. Do you want to run through these players as we go through the lineup here?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Sixer here on the screen is Envious main Opper. Not necessarily a star-studded Opper who's going to win you a game single-handedly, not the one to create a lot of highlight clips, but again, a serviceable Opper, which is more than good enough for the situation that Envious find themselves in. XMS, the most fresh recruit on the side, came from LDLC. One of the better talents in France altogether. And we've seen some highlights, and we've seen some absolutely insane stuff that he can do at times. But again, with attempting to reach a higher level, you have to find consistency. He's not quite there yet, but he's getting there slowly but surely. And Happy there, the in-game leader, in the middle, always with a smile waiting. And Scream, the big star, I guess, amongst fans.
Favorite.
Exactly, the fan favorite on that team, the headshot machine. He's been playing fairly well for the team so far, and as of late, nothing really to
Trying to walk through a convention center with that guy is a difficult task.
It's not happening. It's going to add like a half an hour to your day.
Yeah.
RPK, the big tank from France, one of the most legendary French players you have, and also someone who's been on a bit of a resurgence as of late, which is really fun to see for those who know him from old days. He's been playing pretty well so far in this tournament as well, especially on the opening day. So hoping to see more from him as they go up against Godsend.
Yeah, I think the key here for Envious is just to keep their confidence from that map one on Cobble.
Yeah.
RPK was absolutely destroying, but it felt like everyone on the team was making the proper reactions to NRG. Like if they were late on the rotation A, they had very coordinated and very fast reactions together, like taking plat control, retaking drop. It just seems like they had a game plan and they just stuck to it and were doing it very fast and reacting fast, which is not always what you see. Usually when you're in a tough situation, it's like, hey guys, we should probably do something. What should we do? But for them, it was just like, yeah, we're doing this.
Yeah.
And they just felt like they were flowing with it and had the confidence to do it. So I'm hoping to see that Envious here in this BO3.
Yeah, so Nuke and Mirage being banned out for both sides is very standard. Godsend doesn't play Nuke ever. Same thing goes for Envy. Cash being picked up by Godsend is optimistic, I'd say, simply because we know that Envious can definitely play that map.
I'm actually excited to see some Cash. I feel like we haven't seen it.
Yeah, we haven't really seen it a lot. I'm not that worried about it. I've started to have a strong distaste for that map, honestly.
It's the new dust too, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much how I felt. Yeah. So it did grow a bit old on me. Envious ended up picking Cobble. Again, a very safe pick for them. We saw what they did versus Energy as well. Just as safe as you can get, honestly.
Yeah, I think if you're Envy here and you're going to play a Cobble, I think the one thing you want to do is just make sure you don't give Godsend the economy to work that double op.
Yeah, that's
And if they do work the double op, try to avoid them. Heavy smoke strats, use your utility properly, layer flashes on the B bomb site, and get in there and really disturb that, because like I said, or like you said, it's going to be their key individuals that are going to shut them down. Really not maybe like the setups or the team play, but shutting down Twist and Doppelin will be crucial.
Yep.
And they can even rock the double setup on Cash as well. Doppelin and Twist could have a really good city side setup for a double op, so that could be something to look out for on Envious' side.
Yeah, so keeping money in check, really, that's going to be a big part of Envious' game plan here. And I don't think they're too phased about it. Like even if it gets to get a little bit out of hand, I don't think it's going to take a lot for me to actually go against the Frenchies in this kind of a scenario. Even if Godsend end up having a great Cash game, for instance, and actually taking that map, I'd still feel pretty safe with going with the Frenchies for the full 5 and seeing them in the semis tomorrow.
Yeah, that's interesting. How do you think their mentality is on Envious right now? We saw a very happy yesterday. We haven't seen them yet today, but even just looking at some of the shots there, they seem very relaxed. What do you think their mentality is like?
Envious or Godsent?
Envious.
Envious, I mean, I think they're completely relaxed and they're going to be fully confident going into this, knowing that they don't have, or they switched the caller up on Godsent's side, they don't have their permanent 5th. I think they should be feeling good.
Completely agree.
So we can go into predictions then. So we want to try and get into this game as quickly as possible. So Vendetta first.
Yeah, very easy for me, honestly. I'm expecting Envious to take this 2-0. I just think there's too much going against Godsent, and if the individual showings that we saw in the previous best of 3 is barely enough to take them past Energy, then Envious, I think she'll be more than perfectly capable to handle that.
You don't think the disco ball will be turning?
No, I do think he can definitely cause a bit of a hiccup here and there, but I think it's going to take more than just him and Twist to make their life painful.
Fair enough. How about you, Eric?
Does Disco's beard kind of remind you of a wildling from Game of Thrones? He's like
in a way, yes.
He's like coming from the beyond the wall.
To me, it reminds me of, like, you know, Shaggy from Scooby-Doo?
Yeah.
Like, if Shaggy from Scooby-Doo, like, grew out his beard.
I can see that.
Or, like, wore, like, a fake beard. Or something. That's what I'm thinking.
I want to see a disco-themed spin-off of Game of Thrones now.
That would be something.
Oh, imagine that.
I don't even know where to start.
At Summit, they were making all those movie posters.
Oh, yeah.
What was Godsent?
God, what were they?
I don't know. It should have been Disco Game
I'll
of Thrones.
look that up.
How about you, Eric? What are your predictions for this? Do you think Envy will just run away with it 2-0?
Yeah, I'm going to 2-0.
Yeah?
Yep.
You don't think they can, on Godsent's map, Cash?
They can be competitive. I think, like, I would give them, like, double digits, but I don't think they should sweat too much. Envious.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Thanks for this pre-insight. We will find out very soon. Let's have a chat to our casting duo, Scrawny and Launders. Welcome back. Hello. How are you?
Hey.
Hey.
How are you, Launders?
How are you, Launders? You're quiet. What's going on?
I'm just digesting a giant meatball sub, as I think we all are.
It's not a euphemism, right?
No, a
okay.
meatball sub.
No, sure.
It's
okay.
food.
No, never mind. Predictions, guys.
Predictions? Envious. I just can't help but feel like they're going to be able to continue that form that we saw from earlier. Again, there were slight hiccups, and I think that maybe Cash is in question, but to me that's a giant question mark as to why they'd even let that through. I think that Envious have a very strong Cash, as we had said.
Yeah.
And then Cobblestone as well is a map where I can see Envious kind of walking away with it. So maybe this is a quick 2-0, but at the same time, I think I did never see Disco Doppelin turning up earlier today. So if somebody really decides to throw a wrench in the works, then maybe it's closer than I expect.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I think that they win on all maps, so I think that they have an advantage going into Inferno as well. And I feel like they kind of messed up with the veto, allowing Cash to go through that easily.
I've been told that I should do a prediction as well. I keep forgetting. As
Trying to weasel out?
Yeah, like no, I'm not doing it on purpose. I just forget that my opinion is needed in this situation. I'm going to go for Envy. Boys in blue, they're impressing me. I like them. They're cool. So Envy is mine. We'll note that down, and we'll see what the scores are later after this match. How do you guys feel about this mix in the in-game leader role for Godsent?
I think it's weird. We're talking about Twist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like if Pronax isn't calling,
What purpose does he serve?
thank you.
No, because it's been a pretty hot topic for quite some time. Pronax hasn't really been delivering individually, so the one benefit he had to him was the fact that he is an experienced in-game leader. And if he's not doing that for your side, then it's hard to tell what he's actually able to do.
I think it's also weird in the sense that this puts a lot more pressure on Twist. When you kind of looked at Godsent under the guise of Pronax with him being in-game leader, even say back with Schneider as opposed to Pitt, it was really Lekr0 and Twist that you'd look for to have that kind of like explosive frag potential. And now, you strap on an in-game leadership and suddenly he could be hindered in a way, right? Look at C's from Na'Vi, how he then struggles with the departure of Zeus. It's just, that is to me the biggest question. On top of course, what purpose does Pronax serve? Not to be disrespectful, but what is his role? Is this meant to open up options so that he can, prove himself on an individual level? Do they think that he's going to be able to just apply himself in these clutch moments and be an impactful fragger, not through quantity, but through impact? I mean, that's maybe the only solution that I personally see. I'm just worried for Twist.
Yeah.
Okay, the game is ready. Sorry, I didn't want to cut you off. I know someone was trying to talk, but the game is ready, and we do want to see some great Counter-Strike. Godsent versus Envious. Let's find out who will be going into semifinals to play against Renegades. Take it away, guys.
Thanks, James. Yeah, I think, you know, not to be too, I guess, disrespectful as well, but it's like Pronax is a 0.7 on a team that needs an IGL.
Yeah.
And so maybe he'll get a performance bump from not having to focus on calling, but at the same time, I can't also expect that he won't be calling in some capacity. You know, mid-rounding is something that he'll be drawn to. You know, if he has an idea, he's going to share it with his team. So maybe it's just that he can have that same value as an IGL. It doesn't seem like he's putting too much effort into preparation as opposed to on-the-fly adjustments.
Yep.
And that's something that he can do and benefit any team with, even if they already have an IGL.
I mean, if they're trying to just kind of like counter his impact in terms of like chiming in, even with those mid rounds, right? Like that's just a completely missed opportunity because you cannot take that away from Pronax.
Yeah.
Pedigree, experience, accomplishments, the man's got it going for him. So you'd hate to see it happen, of course, but hopefully it won't affect them too badly here in Cash. I'm actually very intrigued by the pick of Godsent. Again, you said that like maybe they've just screwed up their veto process and put themselves in a really tough spot. And I think they have, because obviously Envious are established on this map.
Yeah, it's tough because you want to play to your strengths in a veto, but you know, whenever you can avoid playing to your opponent's strengths at the same time, you should. Okay, I'm definitely against banning a map that you're good at because the other team is good at it as well. So,
are you ready, Launders?
I am ready. I think this will be good no matter what.
As well as I. Godsent, they've got some grenades to play off of, as they are, of course, on the T side to start. They're going to go for that quick little boost over mid. Sixer on the receiving end of affairs, but that doesn't stop Envious from getting aggressive on A main. We did just spot, of course, RPK taking a bit of a peek, but then immediately reeling backwards towards the safety of the fork. XMS is going to be by quad, doubling down with screams. This is a nice anchored defense at this point, and while nothing's being offered up to Godsent, they're probably wondering, where are these defenders? Are they playing back towards truck? Are they hoping for that retake play? No matter where they are just going to smoke off the cross and try to filter their way forward. RPK, feeling some pressure, falls back towards the safety of sight where XMS reveals himself. And Scream, RPK, chiming in with kills aplenty, dropping the bomb and leaving Godsent to reel back themselves. But it is just Lekr0 and not for long. His Deeg goes down and Envy take the pistol.
Yeah, it's interesting on Cash, there's very little to analyze in terms of what people do on pistol rounds. There's a lot of fast rotations on this map, so selling fakes doesn't work all that well. One thing that's very common to do is just to hold before you hit anything, because also very common to push on CT side because of those fast rotations. And what we saw in that round was your most basic site take possible on Cash. It's smoke the cross, flash out, and pop out A main with 1-over boost. The 4-1 didn't work out. Envy were sitting ready with their USPs and hit all their first bullets into the heads of Godsent, who now are falling back on a force-up. And it looks like they did spend all their money in this round.
Fully invested. Lots of Deegs. I'd say most notably Lekr0's. It's the one I'd love to look out for. Pitt's going to have that Tech 9, the ability to just gun down players on the drive-by. But the players he'd be seeking are actually pushed up into A main. This is Envy with some forward positioning as Twist reveals himself on mid.
Lekr0 had a monster Deagle Ace coming out of A main. That will never be forgotten. He continues to be a beast with a Deagle in all scenarios. No surprise that he bought it. Pronax has cleared all these angles. This will be the final one on the sight box. People always end up peeking left side sight box, the safest way to go. XMS sees that he has some pressure being put on him right now, as he has to cover for his teammate, who is a little bit late to helping him out. Scream, though, starting to get aggressive. Nice headshot adjustment on our men in B main. XMS still sitting pretty in the site. Fully blind, though. Great flashes. Though they haven't stormed the site quite yet, and Scream is able to help out.
Yeah, XMS. Ooh, denied. Lekr0 able to bail out Pronax here. So both players still standing, but Happy and Sixer are able to just seal the deal. Like you mentioned, that one flashbang was kind of their window of opportunity, and they didn't just bust it wide open. They kind of staggered in. Still able to find some success, a couple of kills, but that's all they'll get in the second round.
Yeah, that to me is a sign that, like, in terms of dry running in practice, like there's a lot of theory crafting going on. Like, they've got the full God Flash. They can do that without a team to practice. They know that this flash blinds everyone on default or everyone in spam box or what have you. But what they didn't have nailed down was how long will that guy be blind for, and how long do we have to get into the site before that flash is worthless.
Some aggression towards A main. RPK does slay 3 players. 2 rather. Sixer and Happy get those X'd. So it's just Twist, all alone, playing over towards middle. P250 at a distance, never favored, and quite clearly dealt with. So Envious, they get their pistol, they convert their points, and they're off to a fantastic start here on Cash.
Yep, hitting the ground running, for sure. In spite of, well, in light of winning that round, RPK is going to hang on to this MP9. XMS is going to pick one up, a brand new one for himself, it seems like, and try not to invest too heavily here. So the thing about this round is that Sixer bought Nop. And this is a round that might be like a bonus round where, oh, they've actually only used one MP9. XMS kind of in a weird spot with it where he's at a distance that I don't think would guarantee him a kill. Oh, you got to be careful about jumping around boost and also throwing the smoke from that close up because people are going to be watching it like a hawk. Yeah, but now the play is to have Happy up there and him for just to wait for a prolonged opportunity to either counter boost or counter flank or wait for someone to counter boost.
Here it comes, up close will be Twist. He's got a grenade in hand, if only Happy knew. He sees the trajectory, he sees the head, but now he's seeing stars. Twist rips it clean off as RPK is able to trade, and then he doubles down. Pit removed, and that gives the man advantage to Envy. With XMS cowering to the backside of Checkers, Pronax has no clue where this defender's at. He might call for the bomb to rotate over, and that's when all of a sudden XMS can reveal himself, really throw himself into the fray. But at the same time, Pronax has been afforded a lot of wiggle room. He's actually going to get to the backside of CT spawn, towards the tree, and behind Heaven as well. So that's 2 players up close, but Scream will best him with the headshot, and Envy again. Ample opportunity. XMS now swings wide, catches the man with a nade in hand, and Disco takes another trade frag, this one to the favor of Godsent. But with 20 seconds in a 1v3, he shouldn't be allowed to get much done. Maybe the bomb plant and the safety of the site. The CT's not able to stop him, but they certainly should come barreling forward just to clear him up. He's fully flashed, and now he's down. That's Envy with number 4.
Well said. That was them taking completely other rounds. So the problem with all great flanks, or the way that they fail, is when you don't have a good enough distraction to complement them. And with Pronax taking his time walking through the back of CT, it's unclear whether or not it was Scream who was just lucky to see him on his way back, or if he had maybe got the memo that not enough action has happened on the other side of the map, and they don't have enough info in B, and so was ready for something like that. But in the case of that extended possibility, you want to make sure that your team is always causing some kind of distraction for you on the other side of the map, so that you can pull off that kind of lurk. Set up in a default. Actually, 3 people in the A site, I think in anticipation of some kind of strong A hit. Not sure that they're going to see that in the next few seconds. Surprisingly enough, typically you fortify B over A because A you can pretty much play on retake. A lot of men sacrifice to the side of the map, I think, because they don't want to let the bomb go down.
Do you think it's a good idea to play for middle control when they sit on only 3 flashbangs?
For
Godsent.
Godsent to play for mid. Well, middle's been given to them, and at this point, they can go back to a 4-1 A main or whatever they like. They don't want to peek past this point. This is the line for them. As you're saying, no utility to smoke top highway. They don't have a safe way to gain control of it.
Now we're going to see some counter aggression from Envious. They push 2 players into A main, see that it's clear, and could go for that rotate towards the B site, but there's currently 2 players kerneled there. That's XMS and Scream. Godsent breathing down their necks. RPK able to find that one outlier. Pronax over towards the A site. So now the flank versus Godsent's going to start to shine through. You can see Disco Doplin quite wary of this, but now the execution in, stopped by the flash, but only momentarily, because Lekro and Twist just crack that site wide open. Disco Doplin, aware of the flank, takes the man down and leaves Envy to the 2v4. Their options to save quite clearly on the table. It's going to take a big opening and one right now. That kill could do it, or it convinces them to accept their losses and walk away for the next one.
Definitely an excellent round from Godsent, who were able to crack the site wide open, just as you mentioned. 2 entries, very cleanly done, and a lot of it thanks to the fact that they were able to gain so much map control, hold those rotations for so long. And I think it was Envy's fault to not only not have map control, but also play 2 on site, as opposed to, at the very minimum, hold on to checker control. But in that circumstance, it might have all been all for naught anyways. Great shot from Sixer, hard on that right angle, hit those flicks sometimes. And it was an interesting dilemma because they came out mid, they didn't see anybody, and they had to figure what's the setup going to be. But I guess in their heads, they figured 2A, 2B, 1 back of Z, something like that. And that guy at mid is an A flex player. He's going to be able to go to truck really quickly, cause problems for them if they wanted to crossfire at truck and forklift. And so they figure if we go B and we clear our checkers safely enough, we've only got site to deal with, and that is a much easier duel than that crossfire from coming up highway.
Sixers looking to peel a man off A main, and he does so. Actually able to fall back, but now that squeaky door should get opened. And yes, it's heard and dealt with. Happy quickly to drop a man off the second op. Sixer spots a sliver of a shoulder as Godsent try to come in, but Happy with another op frag, then dealt with as Pronax hits the headshot. That's all Godsent will find. A single frag to the A site and a hard reset from Envy.
Yeah, that's really tough. 2 ops, and they both have so much impact in the same round, picking on the same site. That A main hit, all those dry peaks getting punished over and over again. It's a really tough pill to swallow for Godsent, who'll have to go back to saving at this moment. They got to think about what to do next, and it looks like they've actually invested quite heavily, almost all their money off of that reset, which is interesting because, well, I guess 2 players would have been in a bad position to buy, even if they had saved 1 round, though. They will rush B off this.
Nice frag grenade to soften up their targets. XMS from the heavens above sprays down 2. It's traded back by Twist as Happy is now looking to pry in from the flank, and Sixer holds the site. So again, these ops looking to pay dividend on B.
Happy spots the shoulder of someone under Heaven. This is a very common engagement. Vents to this tarp, and Pronax. Oh, he's found a cool angle that will force Happy to be spotted if he wants to come out, if safely at all. It looks like they're going to set up for this retake because obviously they are up in numbers. They should win this.
Here comes the Galil play. It's going to go down. RPK with 2 frags already. Third one should be Pit, but with the P250, he's able to just pepper down 1 at the very least. So considering the investment, Godsent not looking for what they wanted.
Yeah.
The full buy in that one should have netted them around, but of course it was very limited. The UMP, the Galil, unable to really succeed on the entry. Poor Pit's never even able to retrieve a weapon.
Yeah, fortunately with that, with the second or the third round loss bonus, another save, and not too much money spent this round, which actually they bought 2 Deagles, which is kind of surprising. I think we might be looking at another save, honestly. So yeah, the plant has basically bought them Deagles. Take that how you may. Lekr0 might make it all worthwhile.
Sixer's going to get aggressive again with the AWP, but his shot does not connect. He's going to have to be careful now because the pistols come charging in, and they're able to draw 2 players down. Scream at a distance, able to trade frag, but now an op in the hands of Doppelin. That can be dangerous. He's going to get himself that bomb. He's going to find himself across. So, punching in the digits as the players sit to the backside of Quad. XMS removes Lekr0 from the skies. Still 2 guns here in the hands of Godsent, but they've been pinned into the backside of the site. Fire forces them back. And now Disco missing another shot, but this one connects. That's crucial. Happy, able to trade, leaves it all on Pronax. An incredible clutch player, but not when Happy is so on point with this AWP. This is multiple rounds we've seen him actually use this quite well.
Yeah, he's definitely feeling good. One stark difference between this Envy and an Envy I've seen in recent months is a lot more patience. And I think they've already understood that retakes and being patient in retakes is very important, but it seems they've really grasped this concept and are playing it out just as they would have imagined in their heads, where they're taking so much time, it's putting all the terrorists in awkward positions, they're taking a ton of favorable engagements, and every time they move into a site, it seems like Godsent have not settled in, even though they've had 20 or 30 seconds to pick.
Everyone from Envy as well, just finding frag counts at this point. It's a 3-kill differential between top and bottom. And it's Happy again trying to pluck a man from the backside of B main. two players do present themselves, but Godsent, for the most part, they've just spread themselves butter thin.
Oh, what an interesting duel. They actually both peeked in the same way, crouch peeking, same speed. And Disco Doppelin just a little bit faster on the trigger.
It does net Godsent a 5v4 in the first time that we see this double sniper setup from them.
So interesting how they're just forfeiting mid almost every single time. And focusing on A. In this situation, obviously, they would have had Sixer out in Squeaky, and who knows where he would have moved to, but it seemed like he liked watching mid from quad. Congregation of terrorists towards the B side of the map. 2 in vents, 3 B main. Smokes and flashes to cascade over the site. XMS to peek in for any information that he can gather.
He's going to get pressured, though, from the vents. Still able to hold the line at the time being. Drops the molly and finds another frag. As Twist will take one. XMS! So much damage from this position. Keeps Envy in line. Of course, Twist on full HP. Lekr0 sits on 2. And it's going to be envious to try and hold back this B site, but the entry has been afforded to Godsent despite not on the cross. Lekr0 with a headshot leaves only RP Tank, and he's going to drop the bomb at the very least with 19 HP versus that AWP. There's one to his feet, 10 seconds to the clock, and he's just going to linger his way into the heavens, trying to catch the man on an off angle, but it's going to get peeked on. He knows. Oh, he knows. But he can't deal with it just yet. The dink connects, but Twist as well with the op will find that frag, and another round for Godsent.
Wow, that was I mean, to do it now, there couldn't be a better time. Here, Envy have a little bit in the bank to support them, but now we're watching back what was a fantastic play from XMS, completely shutting out the 2 players at B main. As one comes out vents, he's saying crush them.
He does like 380 damage in that position.
He doesn't allow them to trade.
Seeing newcomers to a team be able to hold their own in those collected moments, that's what I like to see.
Wow, a little bit of a hasty rush out mid. Pronax just runs out off of a flash. It isn't good enough. Sixer comes away with like 30 damage and a kill, though. And you got to wonder what they were trying to accomplish with that, if he was trying to get out to the right side of mid and lurk on anybody creeping up to vents. But if only they would have had a better window into Envious's tattered economy at the moment. They might have shied away from such a play.
That's a crucial headshot, catching RPK in the open. Sixer's going to get aggressive, able to trade one, and then Pit able to connect the headshot as Doppelin swings that door wide open. Happy swings the op. But his shot goes astray, as does the defenders of Envious. They're going to head over to the B site where safety can be found, at least for now. Godsent to take another round.
Looked a bit suspect at that moment in the beginning of the round, but they came out through with the cleanup. As we can see, sectioned off the site well. Molotov's down. Envy are starting to lose a grip on this half. Just as the pulse of someone coming back to life, these rounds coming closer together. And even though collectively Godsent haven't gotten many kills overall, are starting to make up for it.
Certainly with at least the bomb plants, you can just start to see this T side shine to life. Those defuses, at least indicative of some success. It's going to be another straggled buy here from Envy.
Yeah, there's always that temptation to get behind your op and buy whatever you can just to support him, just because the other thing about a buy like this is if you lose and you do buy behind the op and you lose the op, then the other team gets it. That's the big problem. It's not just that the op goes down on your team and that you don't have it for next round, is that you convert it. In this circumstance, Twist already has one. It might not affect them, but since Envy aren't exactly aware of what Godsent are thinking, that might be a thought to consider. Taking it slow once again. Godsent setting up with just some standard B control.
I always love watching this bit of a dance you see occurring on Cache, where like if no team on either side is taking aggression, you won't see it happen on the other way, because Cache is a map that you want to play quite responsively. If you lose a portion of map control and you know it, you need to take it elsewhere. So it's only once somebody starts pulling the trigger, once they start doing something, that you'll see the defense
oh my God.
Change it up. How did Twist see that shot? A replay is needed. They wanted to set the totem pole, but it gets toppled over before they get the chance.
They might have completely called that out. That is a very common boost that Envy do a lot in the face of a Z-Smoke. And my God, there is no way that Twist saw that man crouching as he walked over boost.
XMS now stuck in this corner. No utility to bail him out. Only the frag towards Scream. But Pronax gets towards Fork as Pitt's finding one frag. Pronax takes the next, and that's on each side of the map. So it is just Sixer left alone. He's going to be able to get the fade away to the head of Pronax with the bomb plant in the hands of Godsent, a 4th round to boot.
Doing a good job of applying pressure, staying equidistance away from their teammates, pushing in at the same time, making sure trades are possible, and taking whatever kills come to them, which is what you want to do on an anti-eco. So many options for CTs on eco rounds that, as a T, you'd be irresponsible to rush most of the time. I mean, a lot of the times people will just run into you either with squeaky pushes or different boosts. And man, yeah, just completely called that out.
Later, nerd.
Unreal. Later, nerd. Peace, kid.
So we're going to get 1 op per side yet again, Twist v Sixer. At least the buys have still been flowing here for both teams, right? Even those little half buys from Envious, it's been a good economy control. This time they're going to try to control A main. They're going to get a bit of a clash as targets are spotted and pinned to the right side. RPK gets the trade, but Pronax wants the same. Both players just toying with one another. They commit, and it's Pronax to take it with 16 health remaining.
Yeah, what a tenuous duel. Critical for either team. Pronax coming away with that was a big win for both their economy and their odds in this round. Again, they've done a great job with those opening kills, abusing map control, pushing Envy into situations where they are prepared to get abused. Here's a main push, and a fair bit of information from Envy. I don't know how much Scream will continue with this. He might have taken a step in that moment, but it looks like it's not being watched, and they might call out what looks like a fake.
Yeah, timing gets the best of Lekr0. However, if they were to just pull the trigger on this B-site push, then XMS will be tested all alone. Reinforcements yet to arrive, but they are inbound as he goes down. It's Pitt to take the frag, and there's Sixer through the wall, nearly gets the next. But it's Twist to respond back instead, so Scream needs to clutch in a 1 versus 2. Fully blind, he gets his way through. And now they're never going to see it coming, but he shoots and he gives himself away. As the bomb's been planted, both players peek. They want to take the fights, and they will do so successfully. Godsent to 5, Envy sit on 7. And that's another crucial round.
Yeah, that's another critical round. Wow, Sixer, valiant effort coming into heaven, taking those 2 off frags, and unfortunately missing the second one. Twist capitalizing on him because of it, and Scream flashing through that smoke as soon as he did made sense to me. I think him waiting 15 seconds to go through or going through heaven might have been a little bit too obvious, and he got himself to a good position, but unfortunately, the shadow that he saw, that he was so blessed to see, counted against him, and he pre-fired it.
Oh, rapid play up here towards mid. That's Highway with lots of players just scattered around. Scream's able to scatter the brains of Disco Doppelin. That's still the man advantage for Godsent. Lots of map control as well. The extremities fully in the hands of the T side. XMS, he just wants his gun. He wants the fruits of his labor. But those fruits have been stolen away from him, under control from Godsent.
Again, we've got the Godsent favoring B over and over again. 3 players from Envy, all very close by, but no one in the site. Makes this an easy entrance. Pith holding down that spray, really good stuff. Clearing out heaven and finding out for his team that there's no one here to stop against this plan. Great 1D from XMS.
Now he's fully blind, but he still found the time to get in, only to get taken down. So Happy ambitiously looks for the wall bang. Would love a parting gift as he fades to the save. And here's a gift, the AK, with a Molotov as well. Icing on the cake.
Yeah, it's quite a big find. Let's see if we take a look at the economy at the moment. Godsent are doing quite well, but yeah, across the board, they've got enough to bolster their economy moving into this round win. And then also Envy, who were doing so good at the beginning of this half, are now in a much worse position. I think the one thing that was working for them at the beginning was completely forfeiting mid, but a couple of rounds that Godsent won were directly because they had mid-control for free, uncontested, and were able to B-split, putting too much pressure on just 2 players of Envy. And it might be time for Envy to start answering back to that mid-aggression, or at least simply not giving it up for free, because it's come to a point where Godsent feel like they can get out there with minimal utility. 1 flash, 1 smoke, and that's not keeping them in check.
Smoke grenade from the CT side. Godsent look to keep the A main honest, but it's going to be the counter boost event, so a little bit of change up for the control of mid leaves Scream in a great position. Of course, he's going to be coupled with the op of Sixer, who sits towards Highway, ready to go fight on the A site, where currently Envious have 2 men. But it looks like Godsent have this site in their target. They're able to get them way out. That's Disco Doblin already on the other side of the smoke, but they haven't really revealed themselves until now. Sixer dropping Disco as he tries to entry through. And there's another couple of frags going every which way. Man advantage for Envy. And unfortunately, RPK gets caught in the open, as does Happy, peeled off of the side of the forklift and putting Godsent back in the driver's seat. Scream towards middle, gets flashed off. He needs to reel back and ask for XMS to arrive, but that bomb's been gone down. And that's not a good look here for Envy. They're gonna have to split this retake. Player per extremity. Godsent boxed in. They've got, of course, the double flash and then that molly. Kid as well to play with, so there is no rush, but they need to get this rolling. Gonna spot the man towards Fork. There's Scream down for the count. XMS tries to chime in, but he knows his fate has been sealed, so he'll walk away with the M4. Godsent walk away with a round.
Yeah, this is a tough one because they set themselves up pretty well for an A hit. As we saw earlier in the half, they were playing up to 3 players there. They're positioning themselves to be able to trade 1-for-1, and unfortunately it was just a mechanical failure on the part of 2 players that meant that, you know, if Happy got that kill on whoever was trying to get up on Toxic, that's the round. 3v2 in their favor. Unfortunately, Godsent were just a little bit better. 20 damage better. I think Lekra was able to get that trade, even though he was in the awkward position, and that's all she wrote.
One final round here in the opening half of the opening map of the final decider match. A little bit of a mid-control yet again here from Godsent, using some utility, clearing out their corners, and once more, there's no response from Envy.
Yeah. It's free space, and from here, they still have to worry about sandbags. You've always got to. But they'll quickly learn that they have free reign over middle. Lekra is also taking an extra step. Going right for the throat with this push up onto Highway box, and they can do a couple of things here. They can cause someone to rotate into him. Pronax is actually pulling off a lurk on his own on the other side of the map. They're getting really confident about their abilities here on T side, and Lekra kills Scream even though RPK was right there, ready to shoot.
You heard that rotation going though, so Godsent could double back here and now. We do see Envy still just with 1 man committed to B, and now he has been removed. Toppled off the back of the boxes. Pronax finds another entry, further success as he sprays on the cross, and that bomb certainly to be planted. Last round though, so Envious, they're gonna try and make this retake happen. RPK is gonna come in from the top side, Sixer from below. Pronax and Pit both go down, but Twist takes the trade. That's the op in the 1v1. V6er, who has himself the kit. He's hoping that Twist will go for the peak. He's gonna try to bait it out. Attempted to get to the top of the boxes, taps it once more here. Twist gonna start to walk round the corner. Whoa. And a hell of a pre-fire, a hell of a spree of rounds. Godsent taking 7 at the end of that, 8 in total. Despite the hard reset, despite losing pistol, they're able to find that lead.
That is nuts. That is such a nutty, wow, the confidence on Twist to just go and peek that aggressively. I mean, he knows that he had to at this moment. Just lines it up perfectly. Wow, barely had to adjust his crosshair. Sixer goes down. What a quick shot. Completely pre-fire, just as you mentioned. There's no way on a peak like that with a weapon that heavy, that Sixer wouldn't have been able to win that duel versus anyone that had to think first. Good stuff. Amazing comeback. Didn't think we'd see this half. I thought it was going to be.
It was looking very
12 to 3.
Yep.
You know, it was getting to that territory.
I mean, I think you brought up a really valid point, though. It was mid-control that Godsent started to realize they could have for free. And once they were given that little bit of a working room, they really exploited it.
Yeah, it's funny and maybe kind of questionable why NV just allowed Godsent to run around at mid constantly. I think, you know, if you're a terrorist team, you're thinking, if the CTs are set up 3 mid, we don't really want to go mid. Sometimes that engagement happens because you're going to send 2 players over boost, 1 out mid, and hope that there aren't 3 people there, right? But even when they had the economy to back up a play like that or a setup, they never did it.
The one time that we see Scream go into the vent is the time that Godsent don't want to play for middle.
Right.
And never do we see them, you know, replicate that and boost him a second time. So the response never really seemed to work out. And this time we've got Envy now to the T side. So looking to tie things up quickly to grab that opening bout of momentum. They've already been able to open the door. Scream coming to double in. So bomb's not committed whatsoever, but targets have been spotted to both sides.
It's hard to say. No one wants to get USP'd, but all these blocks are willing to take 10 or 20 damage to find some information on the setup. It doesn't seem like it's going to be handed to them too easily from Godsent. Twist actually pushing up late mid and pushing up very close. Important headshot from Disco and good information from Twist to see a player hightailing it to B. Silence USP might not take them off as well.
He's going to try to play the headshot as the T's come filtering in. That's going to be the P2Ks to put the corpses on display. Twist fades away with those last 2 frags. All headshots.
Yeah.
Crisp, clean, and a 9-7 lead.
Yeah, indeed. And again, just him creeping up mid there and seeing somebody run by him and allowed him to drop out of vents with the confidence of knowing that he's going to have more than 1 target. Sets himself up really well. And obviously, taps him down calmly.
The Famai.
Is that the plural of Famas?
It is now.
Typically, I think you see this many Famas when you're really worried or just you don't feel confident in your team's ability to win with SMGs. Also, they have, you know, it's better than a Galil. We'll give it that. But NV have also invested in some armor, so that warrants the multi-rifle buy on the second round. I think they know that NV are desperate to claw this game back as quickly as possible.
Trying to do what Envy does, exploit those pistols. They're only going to have that single flash on the entry, though, so they cannot smoke the cross. This allows Twist to pepper shots, but XMS finds one. That's Pit. Down for the count. Down off the boxes. Grenades go sailing through as terrorists come filtering in. Bomb certainly to be planted here as XMS will commit towards quad. Now, of course, the players over towards A main, that after plant's going to be negated because the bomb's been planted safe.
They've got so much information. They've sent Happy around for the big flank. I mean, this is them trying to 100% the round when they don't have utility.
Twist finds the next one. CTs to make their move. XMS tries to topple them down, but it's Disco with the next frag, and then Twist another. Happy, all that's left, but there's already a man on bomb. He's able to remove 1 frag, but that's all he'll get as Godsent get double digits and take that 3-point lead.
Happy might look bad there, but it was definitely a viable strategy, something they needed to do, and because the site is so retakeable, it's very important that as a terrorist, when you are equal or down a man, to try to push for information. And when you know that the CTs are prepared at truck to have 2 or 3 players there's no way that you can kill them in that sense. A big flank when you have information that you know that they aren't A main, for example, or coming around through Squeaky is sometimes the best thing to do. And you just hope that a couple of Randy pistol kills go your way within the site, and your teammate meets you halfway and allows you to shoot the last guy in the back.
Pop shot to the chest of Happy. Punctured heart, punctured hopes. Envious already down by 1, not to mention the health disadvantage. So this is a matter of time, one would assume, before the terrorists go tumbling down. Lycro connects the headshot, but RPK will do the same. And that's off just the P250. So some damage dealt. The Scream finds a ripper. Twist will find the trade. That's the op to still stay standing, but an MP9 move forward.
Yeah, indeed.
Some losses, economically speaking.
Only economically. It's been a heyday for Godsent. We're looking at what is this, 9-10 rounds in a row. A beast of a performance so far, and obviously, you know, the second pistol has nothing to do with how well they were doing at the end of the second half, but the fact that Envy have to think about all these rounds that they lost in a row will just take a toll on your confidence. It's going to hurt, and we're going to have a run boost come out with the gun in hand, and he does land it on top of the AC. Very well done. Oh my gosh.
That single-handedly makes the...
Oh!
Wah, 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 wah. Poor guy. I mean, the fact of the matter is they use that because he has the MP9, right? He has the expendable life. The setup works for it.
There's no like funnier looking gun for that run boost than an MP9. And then just to see the strategy fall in his face, yeah, it's sad, but it's also a little comical.
It's a good time. Poor Godsent. I mean, they take the initiative, they get the style points, they just don't get the frag.
The water gun of weapons.
Yeah. The garden hose. We'll see RPK still locking down checkers. Very wary to the man at the back of the boxes, but there's no one there. He's chasing ghosts. Disco Doplin, though, is chasing frags over here towards Headshot, as now he's fully blind. It's Lekr0 with a kill and a hold towards the site, as the bomb's still ambiguous in its movement, yet to commit. As Scream fully commits, he goes into the open, and then he goes down. Disco Doplin catches the headshot and leaves Envious to the 3v3 with Twist anchoring on quad. He's gonna hear the footsteps, he's gonna feel the heat, but he also lays down the law and then puts the pop flash up high, smoke by his side, and just tries to buy more time. 15 seconds left, and there's the kill from Sixer. That's crucial. He skewers the bomb site, opens it open for the bomb plant. Now it's happened. Godsent to the 2v2 versus the Ops in the after plant.
Sixer has actually moved his way back to A main. The plant's not good for him, however. This is bangable, but unsure if he knows it. Only seen a couple of people try to pull that off. Whoa, CT's applying pressure.
Now it's all on Sixer, and the bomb's not planted for him. The flick shot does not connect, but the defuse certainly does.
That could have been a lot better if Sixer just watched the bomb wall cross and our man on site just hit, basically.
Yeah, I feel like the roles should have been inversed in that moment.
Yeah, exactly.
Whoop.
Do we get the full clip, though? Oh, no. Yeah, the boost was good, though. Yeah, Lekr0 should not, you should never really be giving up that kill in a retake situation to a guy that goes up top that easily. But it was close. It was a good effort. Twist, making his presence known at B, pushing up, putting himself in an awkward spot once again, but not an uncommon thing to do. Has the ability to fall back off the cover of the smoke as well, only helps him out. Wow, has already made his way into Checker to play aggressively once again. And there is going to be a man to the right here that Lekr0 has to deal with. Transfers straight to him, but misses. Does quite a bit of damage, but leaves RPK alive.
Yeah, Twist frantically exiting towards the CT side. XMS attempts the chase, but now the grenades come in. Sailing high. Connecting to the eyes of Godsent, not actually Envy, who've just decided to lie in wait. No commitment made. But they are going to try and pry further in, where Disco Doplin finds success in the man advantage in the hands of Godsent. Now, flashing through? No, it's a fake. They're going to run away.
It did seem like they want to do it, but at that moment, Godsent have decided that it might not be B, have already started to rotate out, and won't hear our number 2 man happy, but almost certainly will clear white box. Very common play to make, however, this late in the round, unclear if they would do it. Twist dies, wow. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
That's XMS and happy all day long. What looked like a fantastic setup from Godsent just gets obliterated. XMS, 2 crazy frags. But now they're stacked in the back of quad. If Disco can spray them down, then Happy's nowhere to be found. He's over on the B site. This is such a winnable position if Disco decides to commit. All he has to do is dodge shots. Wow. He's got the flashbang, if only he knew.
What is happening, though? Disco's standing very close to the bomb, meaning he's waiting for something, either hoping that exits come his way, or maybe the information on footsteps, but time is ticking down. They're only starting to move now. Will it ever get to the point that he's close enough that he can pull off a defuse? He opens the door, he tries to kill one, and that's it. Just wants to get out of there.
Oh, if only he knew.
Wow. A bit too close, yeah, indeed. That would have been an easy spray down. He himself was low, however.
Very true.
But no matter. He recycles the gun, which is a big win for Godsent. And also just pummels that economy of Envious a little bit more. Full buyout, though, for the terrorists. All the utility that they could ask for.
Now, in the opening half, we saw Envious win 4 consecutive rounds, give up 1, and then completely reset their opponents. We've got the exact same position set here to the second half, which means clearly Godsent would love to walk away with this round.
Are they boosting Shroud without a main smoke? Wow.
Confident.
Big risk to run, but they did do it, and it seems like silently as well. Happy might have been aware and was trying to spam the fallback or just make noise, as it's always terrifying to think that you want to go help your teammates at B if it is going to be a B hit, knowing that you're at A and there's somebody that you know was just in Squeaky.
Boosts upon boosts.
The best way to flash the site, obviously, is from Sunroom, and so we have the counter boost to try to shoot somebody in the head as they set up for any tactical nade. Here we have what looks like quite a simplistic site take, as most players are out here. 2 on the site, and the only help is in Z.
Full commitment about to be made. Disco is blind, but here comes Lekr0 amongst the chaos, able to take 1 frag. It's Twist from the heavens above with a doubling down as Sixer is able to do that same. 1v3 for Happy, removing the gun and leaving only the pistol arrows. But 15 seconds left. He wants to take a fight. Time is of the essence. Now he needs to run. He's gotten the device, and he's going to start to plant it. But already these CTs breathing down his neck. They're up so close, and he tries to spray. 63 HP, and Pit able with the pistol to take himself the frag, the defuse as well, and a 13th round for Godsent, putting Envious on the reset. A very tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, that's really, really tough. This is going to be a fourth round decided after the bomb has gone down, which is a good sign for Envy. Unfortunately, we're getting to those critical rounds. The yellow and red territory, 13, 14, 15. And obviously, getting punished this hard in this round means that we've got almost a free 15th. Envy have to decide whether or not they want to buy here. I honestly think it's in their best interest, considering, or I guess, instead of a half buy, full save, and be able to buy up next round. They've made an interesting decision that I don't think was good. They, RPK and Scream, because they had more money than the rest of the players, decided to invest in head armor, but that is directly taking out of all the money they're going to spend next round. They're not going to have any extra, and that extra 1K right now could mean a world of difference. I don't think they should have thought about the prospect of winning this round at all. Instead, should have just moved into the potential of winning the next, taking the L.
XMS already dropped down as Pronax to the distance. He's going to find the opener. Pit skewered from middle. It's traded back by Twist, who then also falls. This is still going to be Envious with a competitive stance until only Happy is left. Now he's been found out, so a matter of time should be the solution. Happy still frantically searching for duels. Will take 1 kill. That's 3 frags found, but a very happy Godsent as they secure 14.
Yeah, it's going to be nice for them, and again, we're going to have a buy-up. XMS is going to be on simply a armor and AK, and it seems like the rest of them will have the utility that they need, but it's still a long road from here. Not in the greatest shape right now, and as we can see, have set up in what looks like an anti-eco. Obviously, they know that Godsent is buying, but sometimes you want to call these just if you think that the other team is going to get aggressive. Post up on safe angles, make sure all of your boosts and pushes are watched. Squeaky, boost box, B main. Red container for anyone trying to sneak in a mid. But on the reverse, we have Godsent watching the time tick down as nothing has happened. Happy to sit in their passive positions and watch patiently.
Bit of gunfire exchanged here towards mid. Scream to the high ground and Lekro to the dumpster. RPK finds an opener and a very real chance now for Envy to further their success, but meanwhile, Godsent playing reactively, pushing themselves to A main, and that's where the bomb could get sectioned off. I'm very scared for it. We've seen it fumbled and tossed amongst the CTs prior. Let's hope it doesn't happen again. So the door's been shut, but not quite the sight. Envious gearing up for the take, able to remove Pronax off of quad, so Pit on the cross needs to find something here, or else Godsent need to just tuck tail and forfeit this round over. And it looks like that's exactly what's happened.
Looking like a solid default into map control and execution off the back of an opening kill. Textbook stuff on this very open map. Super abusable, a lot of good reasons to wait around for pushes. It's difficult for CTs to get away in a round without taking up the straight on one-on-one engagement. And you might be able to make that argument on many maps, but Cash is much more open in that way. Twist able to stay alive. Should be good for both him and his team.
There, another one. Yeah. Pit with a frag, so this is a crucial moment for Godsent.
And you can see Envy actually only sent 2 players because I think that's just the maximum that they could afford to do. If they sent a 3rd player, they wouldn't have been able to full buy this round, so very smart on them to do that. Now we have a 5-round differential.
We also have a Nova.
A Nova, yeah, we have a Nova on the board. Oh my gosh. Oh, the boost is coming out real quick.
Yeah,
Pronax has got to do something.
Of course, this might work out, but no, because of the distance, he can't do anything about this, so he's just going to cower in the smoke, but this could be a long con. If that smoke starts to fade, he's going to have 3 players on display, but it doesn't do damage. That's the problem there. RPK denies the frag with a headshot of his own and takes the man advantage into the home of Envy.
How is RPK so aware of that? Did they have they seen Pronax?
The tank always has its head on a swivel.
Okay, there you go. Well done, or well said.
Nice little anchor here from Happy over towards A main, but Pit's going to do the same inside the squeaky door. Hoping for more as Envious start to shuffle players this direction. Scream ever lit. Man by his side, not so much, but continuous spray down could pay off here. Pit's going to be the playmaker as the rest of A has been given up. He's the only man to hold it off, and then with damage dealt, he does go down. 27 health between Scream and RPK. That's not going to stop them from getting into the A site whatsoever. Disco Doppelin spotting targets at the distance. He's just got to let them cross. Do you save again?
It looks like they will opt to. I'm not sure. I guess they were really hoping that it would be some kind of extended fake as they sat on the site until that bomb went down. Now slowly pushing out, but clearly just to sit in sunroom for another round. Cash is one of the only maps where you can lose both players on your site and then still think about the rotate or the retake as long as you're somewhat close enough to try to take an engagement quickly, especially on the A site. Rarely is a round won without a terrorist lost. And they have been good at saving.
This is very true, and I think that Cash, very similarly to Inferno, is a map where economy control is so important. You want those full grenades on your buys. You don't want to be left with lackluster utility. Yeah, action shot.
Oh, wow. Just super aware.
Twice, actually. Be able to catch Pit in the corner there. Bit of an off angle.
Yeah, definitely. Sitting in a weird spot. That's a what are you doing there spot.
One op in play in the hands of Twist. It's actually going to get aggressive over towards Checkers as Godsent get aggressive on Shroud boost as well. Plays are being made here by Godsent, but Envious are trying to encapsulate this A bomb site without mid control, notably.
Yeah. And as long as Godsent hold on to it, they've got fast rotates, and they know that their B players can rotate through Z and not have to worry about white box, which speeds up those flank possibilities there. That's a big deal. Lekro, big job on his hands. throwing flashes into A main to make sure that nobody can deal with him. Wow. Very swift on that door close as he falls off to MBK.
So smooth.
So smooth. Can't believe it's not butter.
Smoke to the cross. Pronax to the heavens. Flash goes down. Envy look to come out, but they're actually a little cautious here as they start to shuffle their attention back towards B, and that's where Twist would be alone. We've seen him have impact with the AWP, but can he do it without any help whatsoever? He is his own savior, and XMS is his demise. The headshot connects. Pronax over towards the A site's gonna find something to play with, but Scream's got himself in mid, and that's gonna hinder the rotation. Godsent, yet again, forced into a position where the save is so tantalizing. Of course, Disco Doplin's gonna get sectioned off. He's stuck towards CT spawn, but timing might get the best of Scream if he's not cautious. Ooh. Watch your left, bud. He doesn't.
He doesn't heed the warning. And they are just inching back into this, and it seems like it's all coming down to just 1 or 2 kills. This, I mean, is this the 3rd time in a row that Godsent are saving with 3 players? Their entries have been coming out clean.
Envious doing a very good job of showing resilience.
I do like that Godsent are continually maintaining the threat of 3 rifles in the next round, however. Yep. And Envy can't do anything to stop that. I mean, they have built up an economy at this point, but even when they do send what they can afford to go and search for those kills, they end up losing. So Godsent being really good at saving isn't a slight at all.
It's just a matter of time. At least that's how they're justifying their actions. So damn close to victory lane.
Wow, they've actually got it to 3 AKs because these players have stayed alive so long.
Disco's gonna go over the top.
Will he make it snappy though? There's no one at White Truck. He doesn't know that, obviously. And oh, that's a really cool spot to hold from. It's kind of a long-range duel, and I think that if he goes over boost, he'll immediately look to his left, but it's still going to be tough.
Knows that no one's watching immediately towards the truck side, but XMS gives up his position and instead joins forces with the men in A main. Now he hears footsteps, and it's a unequipped Scream who's caught in the crossfire. Pronax takes another frag, but it's XMS with at least something here for Envy. Can they bolster this offense? Can they get their way in? Sixer sectioned off through the fire and the gunshots. But the bomb's still planted regardless, and here comes RPK. Popping the head of Pronax first and foremost, and he wants some more. He wants to fight over towards the truck side. XMS deals with flank, and that's the man advantage now for Envy. Furthered by Sixer, and another moment where we see Godsent have to tuck tail, but this time they do not get away. This time Envious clear them out with another round on the board. Look how mirrored these halves have been.
Yeah.
It's incredible stuff.
It absolutely has. I think one thing that's different now is that Godsent have the ability to full buy after having had 3 rounds where they would normally be saving, but because they saved those AKs, had a constant threat for Envy to think about. Continually did some economic damage. Ultimately, Godsent aren't worried about that, though. At this point, it's 2 rounds to close out this first map, and with this one more buy, they can figure out a strategy that's going to work. I think a main issue was that, or a thing that's worked in their favor, is that Godsent in these past couple of rounds had the opportunity to exercise some different ways of approaching a rifle round, even though it wasn't truly one. So now they can use that and think about that when they move into this tactical pause and consider their options as to what their setup will be. Again, some of these rounds hinging on a single entry that has made the difference, and it seemed like Godsent were just going to win that one straight up.
Looked like they were going to win that first half straight up.
Yeah, good point.
Obviously, this tactical pause being taken by Godsent, considering their options, as they've hit a bit of a wall. Bit of a barricade being erected by Envy. Well, RPK leads the charge on the side of Envious. I was going to say, everybody's really pulling their weight here to the French side's camp.
every time a kill that has come that was most critically important in this half, it's been like RPK, out of sheer awareness.
Again, when we see this kind of French shuffle occur, I always thought to myself that RPK could have been justified as the 5th for G2. I think that obviously the inclusion of Body, who is very much, kind of respected by Shox. He's the guy who says that, he's got a lot of potential, that he's never really hit the top of his skill ceiling, and that RPK has been around for so long that maybe he kind of stagnates. But I think that RPK is coming back into the form of late, very reminiscent of his old days, the good old days.
Yeah. Well, as we've learned from Zeus, that if you get cut from the best team in your country, there's still hope to be the best team in your country.
So here we go, back into the action. Round 27 is upon us, and Envious are upon mid. Already trying to fight for vents, but here comes Lekr0. Surprise, surprise. Happy dealt with swiftly as Godsent tried to hold off on B. That's where Envious wanted to go, but they've been smoked out, sectioned off, pushed back. Did that just connect?
Yeah, I think it did, actually. Wow. Twist has no idea, but he's feeling lucky, as you can see. Wow. And as tenuous as it is to push through Squeaky with an op out this far, once you're here, you have a really safe fight and engagement on anybody who's coming back towards A. So anyone in A main might be able to cause a problem for him if they decide to come out into the site, but that's why we've got our 7-man, I think, Pith.
Yep.
To help him out. Disco chiming in with a frag, holding down Checker and looking for another, but they certainly just wanted to flush him out, stood way back on that.
Yeah, nice play by Envious using the Molotov to get their trade frag. Of course, with 2 players still lit, they don't want to get up close. They don't want to take those frantic gun duels. They want clean, crisp executions. Guillotine style. They are French after all.
That's true. Dead in 3 seconds. 2 players low health, XMS and Scream. 3 setting up for the A main take versus Twist.
Nice
and
connections.
Wow, he's already putting in work.
Off of the op, only 1 to remain, and Sixer, he has no time. So he shall just commit himself to the corner, cower in fear, hang on to his guns for the time being, as Godsent will win a 15th round. They've done it, they've secured OT on their map choice, despite it being criticized, despite it being questioned.
Yeah.
They've pulled things off. So 3 rounds the difference between the win or the OT. Can the Frenchmen make it happen? Only time can tell, but they're going to try to apply the double op setup in order to find that success.
Yeah, and so even though they did win that round and they did all that economic damage throughout the rounds previous with those AKs that they recycled, still going to be no holds bar here with NV having the pick of their litter in terms of weapons and utility. And whoa! Awareness. RPK calls out the counter boost. A rarity in this game. You don't normally expect to see it. 2 men on top of Spambox. Very vulnerable place to be, and that's why people don't clear it, because you aren't going to see that often. And RPK walks out like he had nothing better to do and clears this angle, this rare fight.
Lots of nice positionings here from Envious, just looking to punish aggression despite where it may come from. XMS on mid, RPK still towards B. Twist's position gets countered off thanks to the smoke. Pronax ignites the flames. And this starts to ignite Envious into middle, forces their hand, they take the control. Despite the flashbang, XMS up close, he rounds the boxes and he's taken down. Scream able to trade to the head of Pronax, so now it's up to Twist, but he's been pinned in. RPK's got his number. So he thought. He's able to bail himself out, re-engage for more, at least the information gain. And RPK set to the other side of the flames. Oof. Tagged up slightly, but this stops no man. He goes charging in. And Lekr0's gonna find him, as now the smoke does plume, the fire does pop, and Sixer's able to drop Lekr0 off the site. Twist to the heavens, tries to find the cross, but no, that bomb will go down. And it's a man advantage to the favor of Envy, fighting to keep this one rolling. Nice little wall spam. 2 players very lit. Godsent could go for the gamble, they could try and commit.
Actually very Smart for Sixer to stand in front of the box. Twist winning an op duel, 2v2 now.
Sixer takes it back, Twist on 4 HP. Sidearm in hand, but body to the wayside. That is Envy with another. 13 rounds to the board, 2 more to go.
Yeah, and we've officially got potential for OT. Envy coming up on 14 here. Godsend are almost certainly going to save. And there it is. Ooh. Boop. It's a slide in for the headshot. Certainly had an impact on the outcome of the round.
Yeah, by all means. I mean, think about how long that kept Twist committed over towards checkered side. And
good point.
even as he was able to fall back, it still just kind of put the defense in a very frantic position. But here comes Happy, who has impressed me so far with his AWP play.
It's the best thing to do when you know, oh wow, this flash ends up being really good, and they're putting a lot of pressure on Happy, who only gets a leg off, unfortunately, but he gets both pills with his sidearm, no problem.
Makes it look so easy, but the third man could punish. The 360 spin is just not going to work out. Disco Doplin gets his hands on the op and looks to start the party over here towards A.
They try to catch him on the way out, but it wasn't good enough, and now they've got to forfeit these losses. Go over towards B, go for the plant. Certainly going to lock in around here. Disco, however, keeping this off is a big win. If I were Envy, I'd start searching soon.
Of course, Pronax just looking to offer his life, as is Lekr0. If they're able to grab another gun, it's icing on the cake. Shot from Sixer connects the chest of Pronax, knows the threat is ever close, and he just spams him down. So, there is an op, and it is in the hands of Godsend. Envious to 4 and to 14, more notably, that we've done it, Launders, we've gone the distance. Round 30 is what we need.
Indeed. I think best bet here is to throw that off to whoever has the best spawn and let them pick. Cash very friendly to opening kills in that way. B main pick, A main pick, squeaky push. Playing static at mid. There are so many options that you can have. Disco up front actually throws it back to Lekr0.
So Lekr0 and Twist on the double op setup. Envious towards A main. This is currently where Pitt plays alone, and he is up close.
Spot that gets heavily abused, naded, spammed, but also is one of the most fortified pieces of cover on any site. Forklift. It makes his way back into the site. Kind of dangerous when you don't have a rotate to play within the site by yourself on A site on Cash. One of the reasons, not only because the site is so retakeable that people play off the site, is because the site cover doesn't do you too many favors. It doesn't give you too many overpowered engagements. The one you do have, Fence, is easily Molotov'd out from the safety of A main.
Now I feel like I'm more convinced with Envy's A holds than Godsend's A retakes.
Indeed.
So let's hope that Pitt's able to hold the line as the pop flash goes high. There comes the help, but there goes the kill to the favor of Envy. RPK creating space yet again as Twist tries to get above, but instead he goes down. Sixer gets his number, and Envious could very realistically be taking us into OT. All they have to do is hold. Godsend with nothing to lose on the retake. Gonna try to get it started. The sprays connect. Disco, Pronax, they find 2, and Lekr0 finds the 3rd. We're back to equilibrium. Sixer to the backside of Forklift. Smoke now faded. Tech-9 in hand. RPK with the frags, though. Lines him up, knocks him down, and takes Envy into overtime.
Who better to do it than the hero of this half for Envy? RPK with the last 2 frags. Unbelievable stuff. That retake looked very real, but just as you said, more faith in Envy's ability to do it than Godsend so far. And as we've seen, Envy clawing their way back into this half. I thought it was just a matter of time before Godsend figured it out. Man, was I proved wrong. And that was actually 1 of 4? No, 3 kills there. Yeah. Very nice stuff.
It's awesome to see RPK really kind of come back into this form. More notably just because it's like, I feel like if you look at the lineup, right, it was really going to be Scream who had to be that big, headliner for the roster, for the frags. But it's given a lot of space now for RPK to succeed. You remove shots from the equation, you take Kenny S away as well. It's just given him a very nice chunk to call his own.
To show his star power.
Yeah.
As we know.
Because he was
arguably the first or second best player in Source behind Existence.
He was happy enough to be the support player, right? Which just goes to show you that his depth and value as a teammate. If you have a man who's capable of this level of play, but also his willingness to let others succeed, I have nothing but respect for that.
Selfless player indeed. Always doing his due diligence. Pronax doesn't even know what he saw, but holding down that spray, and it looked like the spray control was good, even full flashed for what was almost 5 seconds in total. Lekr0 gonna make sure that nobody gets too aggressive off the back of that 1 kill, so that Pith has some time to relax and collect himself. A little bit of presence being made over at B to stir some rotates if possible. As we can see, there's a posturing of terrorists towards A. Lekr0 thought about leaving for just a moment, but it seems like after further silence, he's going to hold his own here at Forklift.
This could be a big play coming in from Shroud Boost. Pit reveals himself with 2 frags, and the impact is made. And still he stays until Sixer drive-bys with the Tech-9. And that's the double op setup left from Godsent. The bomb needs to cross, it needs to go down, and Twist looks to scuttle this offense. But RPK creates further space and creates further opportunity for Envy, not just on the comeback, but now for the win. Obviously a fantastic start to steal away the first round of OT.
Fantastic. Almost a mirror round to the last. And Happy looking to do some damage, but doesn't want to actually die in this moment, even though he's got less to lose here in OT with so much money in the bank. He's going to make sure his teammates are around to trade. And yeah, I mean, I think the goal here is just don't let him leave. Knowing that if he drops that event, he would have heard it. He can tell his teammates exactly how to triangulate his position. RPK swinging out wide, but gets caught jumping up. Disco actually does come away with his life, and it doesn't look like Happy is going to be able to do anything about it. And that last moment survives. Saving ops on CT side at oh, is it 16K OTs? Or no?
We'll have to wait and see.
Okay, yeah.
Let's wait for the second start.
Obviously the difference being that in the third round, the last round of the half, if you lose the first 2, you have to save an MR10.
Nice op shot there's from Twist. Aggression pays off. Lekr0 looks to further their success. Sixer looks to the windowsill, hoping for a frag, but Godsent not willing to go for the boost.
It is MR3 16K.
Just had a quick glance through the rulebook, did you?
Yes, that's exactly what I did.
Glad to see you printed it out.
Always prepared. Never sleeping.
It's the boxer way. Still, the T's very much focused over here on that speed bomb site. They have, of course, allocated Scream over towards the A site. He's looking to pry from Squeaky Door. Maybe he can hold the rotation, or maybe he can create an opening for Envious to come back to, as they are starting to trickle away from the B site.
Split decision to go back, and I think with just a little bit of utility, sell some sort of fake. The worst thing that's going to happen is they lose their players that are here to sell a fake, but at the same time, you do want to commit at least one person to the site to really get rotates happening and ideally come out with a couple of kills. Lekr0 does spot an enemy, but not quickly enough. Wow, nice adjustment.
Yeah.
Flick back to that headshot, and Scream's going to lead the way into the A site.
Here we go, though. Pronax trying to stop it. 10 seconds left.
Oh my God.
Pronax lines it up, stops the plant, and gives Godsent some wiggle room. Sixer towards the mid side. He's going to find a frag, but he's not going to find the round. Lekr0 might not have quick eyes, but he certainly has quick fingers.
Indeed. Well said. I gotta say, Happy Happy in this situation, they know he's here. Happy knows he's here. He relied on Scream to get this frag, but at the same time put way too much stock in him getting that frag. With 10 seconds left, it doesn't seem like a lot. But yeah, the player is right there. I think guaranteeing that kill was the much smarter decision. Instead, it made Scream look really bad when I don't think it was his fault.
Trade frags over towards the B site. As Disco Doppelin through the wall finds himself the headshot, but Pronax finds himself removed off of the white box. Twist finds himself inside A main. Extinguishes the flames by deploying his smoke, keeping Happy's attention fixated towards him. Still, this is the man advantage for Envy to play off of. Disco Doppelin looking to stop the execution. Fire to the feet, shots to the chest, and the no-scope will not connect. It's XMS instead with a headshot and another man advantage. Envy with a minute to play off of. As the bomb's gonna be going down, it's Godsent to the retake in the last round of this first half of overtime. Molotov to the back of the site. Smoke and flash still remains. They've got a bit of time to play with here. They're gonna allow for that first smoke to fade, and that's a crucial kill. Pit through the boxes, and there goes the man who's lit. Twist gets the next, so Happy's all that's left. And he's gonna try to pry on the cross. The CTs line up, and he hits the flick, the fire in his hands. He's frantic, he's scared, he's dead. And Godsent, with not enough time, still lose this round unless he got on it.
No way.
No, sir, that's it. Envy able to do it. They take the 1-point lead as we swap sides.
Wow.
Whew. I'm sweating.
It's, yeah, popped them off. No, none of that. Just sweating. Just sweating.
Well, he tried to pop the molly.
That's true. That's true. Couldn't pop the molly, still sweating. That was close. I mean, he really just wanted to. He realized that he was going to die. He was just looking for a choke point to get rid of that molly from, because he knows if he throws it anywhere in the vicinity, it's going to delay for enough time. Fortunately for him and his team, that bomb was way too far away to get defused.
It's one of those moments where, like, it looks ridiculous because he's just caught with a grenade, but if he gets the Molotov down, he ensures the round. If the last player's on site, and he doesn't expect the player to be so close to him because time was so low.
It's funny. It's like it's an aiming thing, right? Like where he has area of attack, right? So he can, or area of effect, where he can throw that molly anywhere in the general vicinity, and oh, we're right to this round, so let's not waste time, because Godsent aren't either.
No, not wasting time in the losing of players.
Indeed.
Pronax and Lekro just instantly removed.
Failed mid-take. I think it's very common to channel the nades into mid-main. And so coming out lower mid is well complemented with someone coming over boost, which oftentimes can get Molotov. But in response, you can smoke it, you can run through it, and it gives you the high-low advantage, the ever so sought-out in Counter-Strike high-low advantage, making it a difficult shot for your opponents. But instead, they opt to just run out, get mowed down, and Scream. Gonna throw a really good flash and delay this fight as long as he can. Oh, wow. I think because of that timing, Twist coming out as a third player was able to kill Scream in Heaven, who thought he was late enough to peek safely.
Now I've got Happy to the high side, frag to the bomb site, damage to Pith's health bar. Disco Doppelin underneath vent, though. He's going to section things off. Sixer to the other side of the corpse, though. Happy through the wall.
Wow.
That's a big frag for this double op retake attempt if they decide to fight. He could always just grab the AK, but he will fully blind Twist, and that's perfect timing. Happy's the playmaker. And the shot lander at that. Pit on site, tries frantically to spray. He's getting pinched, and Happy with another. Big plays as Envy are able to grab another round and extend their success in OT.
Oh my God. And even though that was a 2v2, that was a retake worth watching just from Happy's perspective. Definitely a clip.
Gorgeous.
Unbelievable stuff, yeah. That was amazing. And honestly, and I think that after this wallbang, his flash, I don't even think that was a left click. I think that was a left and right click.
The no-scope.
Beautiful stuff. That flash was so beautiful too.
Here we go, Envious, with a very real chance at winning their opponent's map pick. A hard-fought battle to get to OT. And now they further themselves as Sixer with the off angle from the top of the red box finds an opening frag. Double op setup per side here as Godsent desperately seek an entry. Could come off of Pit. He's gotten his way towards Checkers, but he's also been spotted and he can't react. It's XMS with that crucial frag. And now, furthermore, for Envy, 5v2. Disco and Lekr0 coupled together towards A main with no bomb to play off of. They need to go reeling backwards. The retrieval mission set, the boost as well.
Few options remain. There's one of them. Disco's offered up an opportunity. Hits the odd flick down into the right at mid. Still a 2v4 situation. Bomb must be retrieved. But the clock ticks down. Map control is not there. Full health players from Envy all have kits.
They're going to try to play for mid control, and this creates a bit of an ambiguous situation as Disco Doppelin grabs another headshot and opens the avenue towards A, where Sixer lies in wait. And there's RPK to the backside. Envy finished not just the comeback, but overtime as well. And they will rip that map from the cold, clammy hands of Godsent.
Unbelievable. Round by round.
The resilience. I mean, that's what you expect from a team that's as experienced as Envy. So much time spent in server between these players. Not only in CSGO, but throughout other iterations of the game.
Wow, into that OT, you had 2 players from Godsent with over 30 kills. And just RPK polishing off that last frag for the clean 30.
I mean, that was the difference. I think that on EnVyUs' side, we had multiple players stepping up in multiple different moments, whereas Godsent, their differential was much more spread.
Yeah.
So just through and through, a fantastic showing there from EnVyUs, fantastic resilience to watch. But of course, this fantastic series is not coming to an end just yet. We will have Map 2, Cobblestone, coming up next. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching the DreamHack Astro Open coming at you from Atlanta. We will be back after a short word from our sponsors.